What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? How y'all doing tonight? Let me know if my mic is okay and y'all can hear me. Give me just a moment. Just like in a vid, we'll watch tomorrow at work. All right, cool. Was catching up on one of your other live feeds. Oh, appreciate that, Kenna. Your mic sounds nice. Okay, good. Yeah, we was having some technical difficulties the other day, so I want to make up that show for y'all and do a show tonight. Everything should be fine tonight. We shouldn't have any issues with the audio tonight. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Y'all know I cover SWAC content over here, so hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I also will open up the phone lines tonight so y'all can call in, so that'll be working tonight as well. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. So I want to get y'all thoughts on what's going on, Roger Jones. Shout out to y'all. What's going on, Israel? Appreciate you being a mod too. We might have some trolls coming in, so be on the lookout. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about SWAC Media Day tonight, and we're gonna talk about some other things in SWAC too. It's pretty much like a checking-in show. We could talk about an array of things, but I want to talk about SWAC Media Day. I want to see what y'all want to see during SWAC Media Day. I want to see how the young men handle all the media attention. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of media there, so we definitely gonna they're definitely gonna get their feel and their experience. Travis Hunter's gonna be there, and Shadur is gonna be representing Jackson State. So I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of media attention there for Travis as well, because he's the number one player in the country, well, recruiting the country. So they're gonna be flocking down there. Well, what y'all want to see? You know what? I want them to talk about this FBS thing because it's been such a hot topic in the HBCU community. Like, it's like no in between. Either you're on one side of the aisle or you're on the other. Like so many people either we don't want to go FBS. This is stupid. HBCU shouldn't be thinking about this. Don't even try it. Like, you have people on that end. Then you have people on the end saying, we could do this. We could do whatever we want to do. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, then we can always move back down. You have people on that end. So it's been a polarizing thing that I've been seeing on Twitter. You have these big time media outlets making videos about it, and it's just crazy, man. SWAC should add 4 teams like the SEC is doing. What teams would you want to see added that will want to come to the SWAC? You have to add teams, and you have to have teams that want to come to the SWAC. Now, I would love to have Tennessee State in the SWAC, but that could be wishful thinking. They seem like they have a plan, and they want to stick to doing what they're doing now. Also, Big 21 headache gang. He reminds me of Running Lot. Hit hard. Also, Brian Dawkins. Shiloh has a mixture of both styles. I wish nothing but the best. I would be watching you and see me in Mississippi. Yeah, Shiloh's really good. I think once he gets his coverage down to where he's a great hitter. Well, he's gotten better at hitting. Let's say that, because I remember last year when he first came, he was kind of doing those helmet hits, and a lot of people complained about him not wrapping up. But close to the end, he got better with his hitting, and he has good speed. I think Shiloh could be a great player. I think he's still kind of raw right now, but I think he can be a great player in the future. Make a super conference with HBCUs. So what schools would you like to see added? North Carolina A&T, Tennessee State, NCCU, and South Carolina State. See, the thing about it, North Carolina A&T don't seem to me like they want to even. They don't even seem like they even want to come to a HBCU conference. From what their leadership is saying, the leadership is saying they want to go to the FBS level, and so all of their plans right now is kind of trying to springboard themselves to that level. That's why they're in the CAA now. If the blue blood HBCUs go to FBS, will the classes still be going on? Yeah, you can still have your classic games. You're allowed to schedule 3 to 4 out of conference games, so you can still schedule your out of conference games as well. Yeah, make sure y'all hit that like button so we can get the stream out to more people. I know I'm doing a late show tonight. I'm not gonna be on too long. We probably do like an hour tonight. So make sure y'all hit that like button so the stream can get out to more people. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Rick Flair said, "I don't trust Shiloh on 4th and 10." Why you don't trust Shiloh on 4th and 10? Well, yeah, I don't see North Carolina A&T coming. I don't see Hampton. I think they just got their own thing they're trying to do, and I don't see it happening. You didn't see the last play of the SU versus JSU game. Yeah. He came up clutch. He got an interception at the last minute. So he came up clutch then. What's going on, Sonny Boom C98? What's going on? Mr. Ford, if you're watching, put in the chat that you're watching, and I'll open up the phone lines so you can call in. You see Tuskegee moving to the SWAC in the future? I don't know if I see that. I honestly really don't see the SWAC add more teams. Are there any teams in Alabama that might be SWAC valuable? I can't think of any. We already got 2 teams in Alabama. If the SWAC add more teams, they're gonna have to add somebody that has a fan base that's gonna travel and that's gonna pack the games out. I wouldn't want to see a team that's gonna be struggling financially to stay in the SWAC. I wouldn't want to see that. So what do y'all think about Peter Woods picking Clemson? I know we tried to touch on this the other day before we had those issues, but so Peter Woods picking Clemson, he kind of got me. His dad. No, I'm not going Blue Bloods. I'm not going. So Peter Woods' dad, he got up there and gave that speech. He gave this heartfelt speech talking about, my son, he doesn't have to be in everybody else, do what everybody else want him to do. He could be different, go his own way, go his own lane. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, oh Lord, he about to pick Jackson State. I'm getting hyped. I'm getting the hype. And then they start playing the video of the family. They doing the swag surf. They swag surfing. I just know he about to say Jackson State. And he come out and say Clemson. I was like, man, this guy done hoodwinked everybody. He hoodwinked everybody. Drusilla said I was shocked. Yeah, he got me. He had me on the edge of my seat. He got me. His dad, no, he wrong. They was really creating a suspense. Blue Bloods, you going to SWAC Media Day? Rick Flair said he picked the wrong Tiger team. Right. But they still got time, Jackson State can still work on them. Just because they commit don't mean that they'll stay committed. Blue Blood said, I was heartbroken deleting that video on IG. I had that drop. Right, man. His daddy fooled me. I ain't gonna even lie to you, he fooled me. I guess there is more hating on classes on other platforms tonight. We should definitely take a shot at a more competitive conference, but first we need to show the world that we can dominate. Yeah, the class is not going nowhere. Like the classics gonna be there because the classics are HBCU moneymakers. Those are the games that people really make it their business to go to. They fly in, so you're still gonna have those games. Now you can just schedule them with it whenever you want to. Like the Bayou Classic and JSU versus Alcorn. That's still at the end of the season, so you can have your classics. Let that be the last game of the season. So I don't see the issue with it. Oh, Bluebell said, "Yeah, I'll be there. Got my approval today." Oh, congratulations on that. Hey, Miss Gowdy, how you doing? Appreciate that. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if y'all new here. I'm gonna open up the phone lines. I want hold on just a second. Appreciate LJ Lowe becoming a new member. Appreciate you becoming a new member. I also make you a mod too. My members, I'm gonna make all my members. They're gonna be mods on the channel, so I'll make you a mod as well, LJ Lowe. Did you see 24/7 about Prime want to stay at JSU, but he want to move up to FBS? Yeah, a lot of people got up in arms over that. But I always knew Coach Prime wanted to stay at JSU, but he's gonna expect JSU to try to go to the next level. That's the way I'm thinking. I think the only way to really keep him is that he's gonna have to do JSU is gonna have to, do what he wants, pretty much. If he wants to move Jackson State up, they're gonna have to do it. You know. But I understand people want to stay in the SWAC too, because it's so much history there. You have all these games and these rivalries. I understand, people wanting to stay, in the SWAC, but at the same time, maybe you can have the best of both worlds. Maybe you can move up and keep some of your best SWAC games still happening every year. Blue Nice Prime. Prime has always been about moving forward. Yeah. Everyone keeps saying it's time to make the move. Okay, is the money in the account? I mean, that's gonna be the job of the administration of whatever school wants to move, to get the money, to get the funding. That's what they get paid. 300K and all this, all these high salaries for. They get paid that money to make those decisions. That's what their job is, to lead the school in the right direction. But we have did enough. Yeah, let's get some years under belt, then move. But you might not have time, Roger. So, like, I understand what you're saying, but I think from what Coach Reed was saying, you don't know how long you're going to be able to have Coach Prime at Jackson State. So you might have to move at neck break speed. You might have to be unconventional with the way you're moving so you can keep that train going. Now I'm pretty sure Coach Prime loved Jackson State, and I don't want to see him leave, and I don't think he wants to leave. But you have to understand the opposition that's out there. You have to understand these other schools that's out there. They're gonna come calling. They're gonna be throwing loads of money at him. They're gonna be trying to persuade him to leave. So Jackson State might not be afforded that opportunity to sit around and wait. Rick Flood said JSU would beat every team in Tennessee easy and the SIP. I'm sure admin and faculty are doing their best, and sometimes we don't give them credit for the work they do with even the resource they have. Yeah, they do an amazing job. Especially schools like Valley, man. Valley is very cash strapped on resources. And hey, they sit there and have a competitive program every year like that. Come on, man. For the last couple of years, Valley has been competitive, and they've been at a disadvantage when it comes to money. So we have to give them a lot of respect. Argoy said, black people always think white ice is colder. Call up. I want you to call up and explain that, because why do we have to think like that? because it, because you want your school or your conference to do better, or to be in a situation to where they can bring in more money. That's thinking white ice is colder. I don't understand that thinking. Swag Buzz. I was at a truck stop in Jackson. They were telling me the JSU is getting a new Foot Locker and Taco Bell on campus. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Coach Prime said on several interviews he wouldn't leave for money. Financially, he is good. I mean, I like to believe that. Listen, people aren't going to like this, but Prime has the chance to become bigger than Eddie Robinson and Saban, as big as Saban if he could get HBCU win a FBS national championship. Any YouTubers coming to the Memphis game? I've been thinking about going to that game. I'm not sure yet, though. I've been thinking about it. JSU will make more money moving up. I mean, that's the whole point of moving up. People want to make more money. You know, you get a bigger conference payout. You can go to a bowl game. You get payouts for the bowl game as well. So that's why, people even think about moving up. What's going on, Avis? What's up with you? Bluebird said, best believe I'm on the sidelines for that one. I might try to get on the sidelines for one game this year, but I like being in the stands. I like being around the people. I like being around the people, I can come on my channel and talk about, the content and the game and stuff like that. I like being around the people and really experiencing the game. But I understand the whole media thing though. Potential TV deals. So Prime and Saban doing commercials again. I think they probably got a contract. They've been doing commercials. That wouldn't have stopped. That whole little spat that went between Alabama and Jackson State, that I don't think that was a big deal. But it would have been dope if Dion could have gotten, Coach Prime could have gotten Nick Saban to do like a video with him talking about, what was going on, like he wanted to, because Coach Prime was going to use that as a marketing opportunity for the school. And that still might happen. But just having Coach Prime and Nick Saban together on those commercials is doing wonders for the program. Drusilla said, I love being in the stands, right? Jackson has a bigger market than a lot of current FBS teams. Yeah. Coach Brown should have gotten him to address the issues. Well, he kind of came out and apologized, though. So he came out and apologized to everyone and said that he shouldn't have named names and put the schools out like that. If all the major teams move up out the SWAC, will your channel remain SWAC Buzz, or you gonna move up to? I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. Now I'm gonna always talk about the SWAC, man. I'm gonna always talk about the SWAC, no matter what, because SWAC media is needed. SWAC media is needed, regardless to what happens. We definitely need to keep this media thing going for the SWAC conference. Hold on. Mr. Ford calling in. Hold on. What's going on, Mr. Ford?
Hey, this is Mr. Ford. How's it going?
Hey, let me make sure everybody can hear you first. Can y'all hear Mr.
Okay,
Ford?
Okay.
Can y'all hear him? Can y'all hear Mr. Ford? Make sure y'all can.
Hey, this is Mr. Ford. Can you hear me?
They should be able to hear you. All right, they said yep. All right, we got everything working now. It was a pain in the neck the other day, but we good to go now.
Yeah.
What's going on, Miss Ford? Talk to me. What you got for me tonight?
Okay, first and foremost, I want to, for all of us to express our condolences to Alabama State. They lost a linebacker kid, I think was from Alabama. And on Sunday, I was just told that there was a carjacking out in Gwinnett County. Young man was killed. I was told that this young man was on Dawson Odom's 2013 SWAC championship team. He was a tight end. So we want to express our condolences to the Southern University family, to the Jaguar family, about their loss of this young man. I had his name
rest in peace to him.
Somewhere, but yeah.
And Alabama State,
tight end on that champ.
Alabama State lost one too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Alabama State, I think they lost a linebacker maybe last week, and the young man from Southern was killed Sunday, I believe. Yeah. But I wanted to express my condolences to both institutions, to the Hornet Nation and to the Jaguar Nation.
Yeah, condolences.
I think you were saying, I think the title is, What Do You Want to See on SWAC Media Day? That's correct?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I want somebody that, I wish I could tell Dr. McClellan, I want better officiating this year. I thought the officiating last year was terrible. Not only was it terrible, I thought it was incompetency on the national television level. I keep saying this, and somebody had to correct me. I thought the best officiated game I saw last year was the Celebration Bowl, and somebody told me that those were not even our officials. Those people were from another conference.
Oh, wow.
So that's number one. Now, the other thing, now I know that everybody knows this. Crime is way up in America right now. When these people go to these SWAC games, they got to make sure that they got security outside in those parking lots, and they got to have security inside of those games. We cannot skimp on the security, because right now crime in most of your Blue Blood said the Celebration Bowl refs were from the AAC, and they did a good job. That's the kind of officiating I want to see. But anyway, we've got to make sure that we have heavy security in the parking lots, because right now, I don't know how it is across the country, but in Atlanta, we having this thing where they're breaking into the cars, they're looking for guns and all that kind of stuff. But we got to make sure that our security in the parking lots is good, because everybody wants the 20s, the 30s, the 40,000, 50,000 crowd. But we got to make sure these people's property is protected, and we also got to make sure that the security is inside of the stadium. Because SWAC, you already know, now we got big games every week. I mean, yeah, that's right. It's about to be worse before. You right, LJ Lowe, you right. Listen, I was reading, I saw on, I watch a lot of MSNBC, and they had this guy on, and he's saying that two problems we're going to have. One problem was we're going to have this in the coming year, we could have the blackouts, where the blackouts could last at least 1 to 2 days. And then they're saying now that, they were saying that clean water could be a problem in the coming years, like it is in the third world countries. That clean water could be a major problem in the country. But
hopefully that don't happen.
Yeah.
I said, hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm just reading. I just read something about some solar flares or something that's going to be knocking out power.
I've been hearing about that too.
Yeah, in some parts of the country.
I've been hearing about that, and they're saying that the prices on the gas did come back down a little bit in the last week or two, but as long as that war lasts over with Russia and Ukraine, the gas will continue to go up, because what they're saying now is President Biden has to go and talk with the people of Saudi Arabia and asking them that they would provide more oil to America, because the relationship between America and Saudi Arabia has kind of soured lately. I don't know if you know, but yeah. Now I'm here for the questions. Anything else you want to talk to them about SWAC?
So when it comes to SWAC Media Day, what I want to hear them talk about, I want to know about a streaming deal. Like what kind of streaming deals are they possibly want to get in the future? because I think that's something that the SWAC needs to really tap into, like trying to get with one of these streaming
Yeah.
giants and get our
Right.
games
Right.
on there.
Right. Now, I was told that the streaming thing was going to be taken care of by this Byron Allen. Did you hear that?
Yeah,
The Byron Allen is going to
HBCU
do
go.
like 2,000 SWAC events. I don't know if it's 2,000 or 1,000, but supposedly he's going to do everything. He's going to do football, basketball, men and women's. He's going to do track and field. He's going to do baseball. He's going to do women's stuff. So I would like to know more about that. If we could get somebody on the talk, or somebody could call in and tell us a little bit more about that Byron Allen deal. Now, I heard some people complaining today about the Bayou Classic deal between Grambling and Southern and NBC. I didn't quite get that. I don't.
Yeah,
what's wrong with?
It's been on NBC though, right?
Huh?
It's been on NBC though, right?
Right. I just
they
heard
just
some
extended
complaining today that some people felt it wasn't a good deal. I know it's going back. It was maybe the last 2 or 3 years was covered by NBC Sports, but I don't think NBC Sports even exists anymore. So it's going back to NBC, and it's going to be like 2 o'clock Eastern, maybe 1 o'clock Central. So
we got another call. We got a call coming in.
Okay.
Let me answer them real quick. Hold on. What's going on, Colin? What's going on, Colin? Talk to me. All right. They hung up. Colin, you can call back. I guess you couldn't hear me. You can call back if you want to get on the show. It's for you still there?
Yeah, I was seeing right here. Lauren Henry said NBC Sports is Peacock. Now I'm familiar with that Peacock because sometimes I watch a lot of Braves game, Atlanta Braves game, and I know some of their games have been on Peacock. So I am familiar with that. So
so Peacock
so
is
NBC said NBC Sports is Peacock.
Yeah, so so Peacock is the streaming.
I didn't know. I was
for
thinking
NBC.
that NBC Sports didn't exist anymore. Okay, I'm glad you correct me on that.
Yeah, so and I think they can do like a, say for instance, like if it's a rivalry game that's not going to be on TV or anything like that. I think they could probably work out a deal with a streaming giant and get it on their platform. You know, they just that one game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, supposedly, you're going to have probably. Now, I'm not sure about this, but you're probably going to have most of our games, SWAC games, will be ESPN Plus.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking that the games that are not covered by ESPN Plus, that will be picked up by Byron Allen. I just got to do a little bit more research on this Byron Allen platform. Do you know a lot? Do you know a lot about that?
Well, I know he's doing the HBCU Go app. I haven't really delved into like how many games he's going to be showing.
And that's what I've got to do. I've got to find out more about it.
Yeah.
And I hope it's very successful.
Yeah, we need
that'll help us. That would help the SWAC out a lot. But I'm also I want to know now. I know that the first 2 weeks I know that Jackson State and Florida A&M will be on. Is it ESPN or ESPN2?
Yeah, it'll be ESPN2.
ESPN2, right?
And what I want them to do this year, I want them to actually promote the game and market the game this year, because last year we was on ESPN2 last year. And usually when you're on one of their channels, when you go to the website, on ESPN website, they'll have your game on the front page so people can, go try to watch the game. They didn't even do that for Jackson State and FAMU last year, which is why I don't like ESPN, because they just do a lot of little shady stuff.
I got a lot of issues with ESPN.
Yeah.
Now, I do know that ESPN is going to bring the Howard-Alabama State game, which I believe is on August 27th. Is that not right?
Yeah, they're doing the MEAC SWAC challenge.
Right, this MEAC SWAC challenge. So that is on ESPN, and I know it's going to be at night.
Yeah,
I think it's
but nobody's playing that week though, so that's nobody's playing that week. That's a 0 week, so that spot is available for them. So what we need, need that kind of exposure with everybody else,
Right now, listen, we haven't talked about it. I know, man, you hadn't said anything about it, but now Labor Day weekend, it's going to be a big battle in Charlotte, North Carolina. You're going to have the A&T Aggies playing the North Carolina Central Eagles at the stadium that houses the Carolina Panthers, and it's going to be a night game. That's going to be really big.
Oh yeah, I haven't
I'm
heard
thinking
that.
they should get at least what you think, at least 50,000 in there, right? It's going to be at night, and I haven't heard about whether or not
Isn't that a classic
ESPN will
game
bring
though?
that, or who's going to bring that.
Isn't that a classic game? Isn't it
Yeah, I think it's
is
called
that
the
Duke
Eagle.
Mayo's Classic?
What is it? Aggie Eagle Classic.
Okay, what's the Duke Mayo's Classic? What game is that?
Okay, now that's A&T versus Duke, isn't it?
I think it's two HBCUs
But
if I'm not
that might
mistaken.
be. Well, let's see. You might be. You know what? That could be the Duke Mayo Classic in Charlotte. But yeah, I know Laquan says right here, Eagle Aggie Classic. Now I know it's going to be in Charlotte this year, and I believe it's Labor Day weekend. That I'm thinking that should draw at least 50, right? That should have at least 50,000 fans for that, right?
What
I'm just
team
wondering
what
who's
teams
going
is
to
in the Duke
broadcast
Mayo's
it.
Classic? I want to know what teams that. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, that's go to either the schedule for A&T or the schedule for North Carolina Central. But I think it's a 7 o'clock start on a Saturday night. Okay, somebody said Duke Mayo Bowl is an FBS Bowl. Okay.
Oh,
now, is
okay.
that the one in Charlotte?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So this is FBS. So they was on a HBCU forum one day. So I wonder why they was
Okay.
they was in the HBCU space one day, the Duke Mayo's Classic. So I thought it might have been a MEAC thing or something because they was
Let
all
me
in our
ask you now,
business.
what is the date for the Duke Mayo Bowl? What's the date for that?
Hold on. I think September. It's in September. September 3rd.
Oh, it's in September. Okay.
No, hold on.
Okay.
No. This year I'm looking it up online. It says North Carolina A&T and North Carolina Central this year.
Okay, so is that the one for the, what is it, the September 3rd or September 4th?
Yeah,
what's the date on
it's
that?
September 3rd. And it says Duke Mayo's Classic. I just Googled it.
Right now, that's a 7 o'clock game, right?
I don't know what time it is. You don't say the time.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering who's going to broadcast it. That's going to be a big game. Two arch rivals, A&T versus Central. That's a big game.
Yeah, that's a big game for them.
Yeah, that's a big game now. That guy that is the head coach at North Carolina Central, at one time he was the defensive coordinator at Southern University for Dawson Odoms.
Oh, okay.
And this guy on the at A&T, he has a lot of pressure on him because them people at North Carolina A&T, a lot of them want to dip down into Huntsville and bring Cornell Maynard back home. He was a big star at A&T, and
hey, he would be a good fit at A&T.
Want to bring him back.
He would be a good fit there. But yeah, they want to win.
Yeah,
they want to win.
Yeah, they a lot. I did see that what you were talking about as far as the people at that's the Big South saying that A&T could win the conference. I want to see it. I know a lot of people have left that conference. North Alabama left, Mammoth left, Kennesaw State left. I think Kennesaw State, went 8-10. So I'm looking at that. I want to see if A&T can win it. I wish them the best of luck.
Yeah, they win it their last year and then leave and go to the CAA. That'll be good for them.
They got one more year there and then they'll go CAA. Yeah.
Pacifico says A&T will be the away team located on the south side.
I think his name is Coach. Is it Washington? Sam Washington? What's the coach's name at A&T? I think he's a graduate of Mississippi Valley.
I'm not sure.
Because at one time he was the defense coordinator at Grambling for Coach Rod Broadway.
So it looks like to me this Duke Mayo's Classic game, it switches between FBS and FCS because in 2027 it's going to be North Carolina A&T and NCCU again, and then in 2023 it's going to be South Carolina Gamecocks and North Carolina Tar Heels.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. James Sanders says Sam Washington. That's his name. Sam Washington. Yeah. He took over after Rod Broadway. He was Rod Broadway's defensive coordinator. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's
BLOB
him.
says, man, if we can get our TV money together, we will be all right. I just wish we could get with not a streaming, but a TV platform that's gonna give us our due, like that's gonna really put their attention into our football games and really promote us. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. And like you said, I like to shop the SWAC product around. I'm like you.
yeah,
I don't. Sometimes ESPN kind of gets on my nerves,
yeah,
because and I'm gonna say that I thought it was kind of wrong to put all the black college games on ESPN Plus. I mean, we can get it, but why not ESPN or ESPN2? Why not ESPNU? Why do we have to go to ESPN Plus? I've kind of had a problem with that,
yeah.
but I understand, but I just think we should shop now. Personally, we got TBS here in Atlanta. You know about TBS.
Yeah.
I'd like for us to look at TBS, shop around with them. Kathy Hughes, what is hers called? One, what is it? What's Kathy Hughes' network called?
TV One.
Isn't it called something? TV One. I'd like for us to look. I wish we could sit down and talk with Kathy Hughes, TV One. Because one of the things I want now, I want a highlight show every Sunday about 7 or 8 o'clock that gives us a look at every SWAC game that occurred. Okay, SWAC fan 100 says ESPNU ain't no better. I hear you.
Right.
Yeah, but I would like for us to have a SWAC highlight show every Sunday. So we can see what happened. Maybe an hour-long show. I wish we could get Tiffany Green to serve as a moderator, and yeah.
See,
I wish we could have a SWAC. Back when I was in college, the only one that had a national TV show was FAMU. This is when they had Rudy Hubbard as coach. TBS, he had a coach's show that would come on, I believe, Mondays or Tuesdays, and it was either 30 minutes or an hour. But that's how we kept up with FAM. Theirs went national. It was on TBS. I wish we could do that again. I wish we could.
Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's try to get the likes to 100 likes, people. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We at 140 now. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. So Mr. Ford, what I was saying was that I want us to get with somebody that's gonna really show the SWAC love, because I feel like ESPN is biased. That's what's wrong with them.
I think they are too. I'm like you. I got problems with ESPN.
Yeah, they have so many people.
I got problems with them.
They have so many people.
Now,
hold on, Mr.
I
Ford.
really don't think. Okay.
They have so many people that's alumni of those big time FBS schools. So I think that's what's really making it hard. So we have people like Stephen A. Smith to really go in and really, really tell them. Because Stephen A. Smith, you're that breadwinner. You're pretty much one of the top dogs at ESPN. He can go in there and throw his weight around and say, hey, we got to get HBCU football on our main channels. Even when the Alabamas and all these other schools are playing, we have to get HBCUs on our channels when, during prime time, when these big teams are playing, put them in rotation too,
Yeah, listen, now, Stephen A. Smith likes to tell people that he was a basketball player at Winston-Salem, and he played under Coach Big House Gaines. I'm wondering when is he going to do what P. Diddy did for for Jackson? When he going to drop $1 million on the athletic department at Winston-Salem? That's his alma mater. And he likes to brag about how when he played for him.
Yeah, that might be wishful
thinking. When he going to drop that money on them?
That might be wishful thinking. And shout out to y'all, man.
Yeah, you're right.
I made a video. The video about Diddy, it crossed over 50,000 views today. I think it was today or yesterday. But yeah, man, that video has been doing great. It didn't just took off. It didn't went all in the YouTube verse. It just been going crazy. So I appreciate y'all for really showing love to that video as well.
Well, let me say this about that. Most of the people I talked to, because I didn't see the show, everybody I talked to said the best part of that BET, they were upset with some things that happened on that BET show. They thought that the best thing was when he made that announcement, he's going to give $1 million to Howard and $1 million to Jackson State. Most of them said that was the highlight of the show.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, when he did that, that really shocked me. I know he has given money to Howard before, but what he did and what he said, it really shocked me. It did. It did.
Yeah.
And I appreciate him. I wish I could tell him thank you. If I could see him in person, I would tell him thank you. Because anytime those black celebrities do decide to give to a black HBCU, that gets my attention.
Yes. So what do you think about all the people complaining after he did that, saying there are always more schools than Jackson State and Howard he could get that money?
As long as he gave it to it. Listen.
Yeah.
I'm not jealous. I went to Clark Atlanta. That's my undergraduate. I went to Grambling for my master's. Let me tell you something. I was so happy that at least he gave it to 2 black universities. If he didn't give it to Grambling, didn't give it to Clark, I'm still happy. Because he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that now. And I got to also say congratulations to, I was reading where Charles Barkley gave Spelman, I think, $1 million.
Yeah.
You know?
And we need more of that. We need more of our celebrities doing that.
Thank you, because sometimes I despise some of the stuff that he says. But that was a great move, and I would like to say thank you to him.
Yeah, we need more of that. We need more of our celebrities.
Yeah, we do. That's what I'm saying.
Donating money.
Yeah, we do.
We really do. To the D.
We do. Because we're already behind. You know, you and I have talked about this now. The average athletic budget in FCS is $16 million. The average FBS budget is $66 million. Now, if you want to stay FCS, then we got to get all these schools in the SWAC up to $16 million budget.
Yeah.
Some of y'all talking about you want these schools to go FBS, then we got to come up with a $66 million budget.
Did you see?
It's still about the money now.
Did you see where HBCU game day? They wrote an article saying that Prairie View has the highest budget in the SWAC, and so they're like a number of years. They're like $5 million below La Tech in their FBS school. So they was saying if any school had the budget that can get there quicker, it would be Prairie View, and a lot of people were shocked at that. Right. So
now you know Prairie View is an outstanding school. You know Prairie View. Let's see, it's Prairie View and North Carolina A&T. They're in the top 10 as far as the top engineering schools in America.
Why can't they get winning programs then? Like what has been up with the? I said what has been up with their coaching in back in the day that they can't
you know,
get winning
you and
programs?
I have talked about this. You know, athletics. If you want to be a champion and all of that, you want to be a contender. That starts in the president office.
Yeah.
It didn't start with Dion. It started with President Hudson and AD Ashley Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say that those men are brilliant. All these good things happening for Jackson State now, the last 2 years, we got to give them credit. They were the ones who came up with the idea of bringing.
I got a lot of callers calling in.
Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah, let me get some of these callers. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
This is Chris Tapler calling from San Antonio, Texas. How you doing, Brother SWAC Buzz?
What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Just wanted to chime in on the conversation that's going on here. How you doing, Mr. Ford, if you can hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, yes, how you doing? How's it going?
Going good. Well, there's a couple of things here. Shannon Sharp, he's on Fox Sports.
Right.
And I know he, behind, the barbershop talk is he was going to, talk to the big wigs, of course, Skip Bayless and the big wigs at Fox Sports about getting HBCU games on Fox's main channel.
Oh, that would be good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's number one. Number two, I take my son every year to Prairie View's homecoming. And guys, Prairie View's facilities is some of the best facilities, in the world. And the reason why is because if you look at the A&M system in the state of Texas, Texas A&M, Prairie View A&M, Texas A&M, I hate to say it in short, SWAC Buzz and Mr. Ford, they work together in the Texas A&M system because they're only like 40 miles apart from each other. So that's the reason why Prairie View has looked the way it does as far as facilities, as far as the dorms, the football field, the cafeteria, because Texas A&M kind of adopted them, if that makes sense to you.
Right.
The third thing is this, SWAC Buzz, you said, you know, some people was giving Puffy, you know, Diddy, Sean Combs, whatever he call himself nowadays, negative
Appreciate
feedback.
that donation, Ms. Guy.
If we can keep it real, SWAC Buzz, on your show, we know what's behind that, bro. Ever since the early 90s, people have never really been a big fan of Diddy. Let's put all the marbles on the table. And although he does talk about black excellence, we all heard of the bad boy curse.
Yeah.
We all look at Diddy as, you know, unless your name was Biggie, you ain't really pay your artists. You know, Black Rob died the way that he did. You could have paid for his surgery. I think that's the reason why Diddy, when it comes to us, got some of the negative feedback that he did. Why can't there be more black HBCUs? Well, last time I checked, damn it, Oprah, she's a billionaire and she gives back to her alma mater, Tennessee State, but she don't give it back to a whole bunch of HBCUs. And so
she does give back to Morehouse. She does give a lot to Morehouse.
Well, there's two. So Tennessee State and Morehouse. Puffy said Howard and Jackson State. There's his two. But I think the reason why Mr. Ford and SWAC Buzz is because sometimes when it comes to our people, you can never do enough and be pleased. And plus, Puffy does have a reputation of messing over his own people while he's talking black excellence, if that makes sense to y'all.
Call it 202. I'm going to get to you next.
About 3 to 4 years ago, there was a major deficit at Morehouse. They were even talking about furloughing the professors. Oprah came to Atlanta, big event. Tyler Perry had out at his place out here on Fort McPherson. Somebody got to her and told her that Morehouse was having money problems. She wrote a $25 million check. And so, listen, when them people do that, I don't have anything to say. Okay?
Exactly.
You know, and when they told me that now, that's what I was told. I was told that she wrote a $25 million check on the scene, okay, which did so much for Morehouse. Because, you know, in the AU Center now, the rich school is actually Spelman. Spelman has an endowment of about $400 million. I don't think Morehouse has an endowment or Clark has an endowment that's $150 million. I think it's maybe 130, 140. Somebody can tell us in the chat. I know somebody's here from Clark and from Morehouse. But
what about Morris Brown? What about Morris Brown?
Well, you know, Morris Brown just got their. I think they just got their accreditation back, and so they're trying to get the school back in order. And a lot of people are pulling for them. There's some corporate support to help bring Morris Brown. Now, here's the thing about it. I believe that once they get their accreditation back, get the kids back, I believe in the first 2 to 3 years, they'll have 1,000 students. From students just wanting to come to Atlanta. I'm hearing that Chick-fil-A is going to build some buildings, and they're going to have a entertainment major that's going to be financed by Chick-fil-A. I think a lot of people are going to go for that.
All right, caller, finish up your point. I got another call on hold, so go ahead and finish up your point.
Oh no, that's what it was, brother SWAC Buzz. It's just some simple fact that, you know, that's the reason why Prairie View is in the condition it's in, because it falls in the Texas A&M system, and they're adopted by Texas A&M. And as far as Puffy go, you know, why didn't Oprah do $26 million? It's always going to be a complaint with us, opposed to, like Mr. Ford said, brother SWAC Buzz, being happy and getting other celebrities involved and other billionaires, millionaires involved, like Michael Strahan did at Texas Southern when he bought the whole team helmets and the uniforms.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the call.
Right.
All right, thank you for the call.
Hey, SWAC Buzz. Have a good one, brother. All right, Mr. Ford.
Okay, have a good night, okay?
All right, let me get to this next caller. What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, what's up, man? This is Dre. I live in Charlotte.
What's going on, Dre?
So I heard everybody talking about, I guess, the HBCU budgets and what can be done to increase it. I think the presidents and your AEDs have to be creative. Like, I went to A&T, you know, like we charge kids for football game tickets. You may think that's small, But if you let kids in free, I'm willing to bet half of the SWAC teams let kids in free.
Well, that's a part of that tuition.
Make sure y'all hit that like
kids,
button too. Let's get up to over 100 likes.
I mean kids. No, I mean kids. Like, okay, like let's say you have a family. I'm not talking about students.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about students. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm talking about students.
Like, I'm talking about under 12-year-olds?
You got like 4
under
kids.
12?
Like people, like people. Nah, I think we charge for, I basically almost like an airline. Like if you like 3 and up, you paying the kids price. Yeah,
that's what most schools do. 3 and up is paying the kids price. But one thing I want to say is that we cannot price the kids out now.
Yeah.
These children that fall under that K through 12 category, because that's the bloodline and that's the future of your school. So you got to make sure that those kids it's affordable for them.
See, I disagree because I think it's conditioning. Like, okay, A&T built a 90 million student center. Who's paying for that? The students. They've been paying for it since it's part of student fees. And a lot of universities do that because where you going to get a grant that somebody's going to give you 90 million or you're going to get 4 people to give you 25 million. You have to be like, even with our track that was done, we got a brand new track a couple of years ago. And what's happening actually in a couple of weeks, we got the AAU Junior Olympics coming to A&T. We got 16,000 age 8 to 18 athletes coming. So that means they're going to buy books. They're going to buy T-shirts. That's basically 16,000 students coming buying everything that's on your campus. So when your AD invests, stuff like that happens. Because you got to think, okay, not just for today, you got to think for 5 and 10 years down the road. You know, so when we got our track, we didn't know we were going to get this opportunity. But you couple that with a top 5 track team, you get that opportunity. So I just think, you know, the ADs and the president have to be creative when it comes to funding and everything and trying to get things done. And a lot of them are not. I think half of it comes just with your experiences of where you've been at. Our AD is an alumni, is not an alumni, and he's been at a lot of different universities, which means he's seen a lot of different ways to fund. You know, I think that comes with it too. When you haven't been a lot of different places, when you've been basically on your porch. So you might have went to college at Grambling, maybe went to grad at Southern, maybe got your first AD at Valley, maybe been a PV. You've been basically in the SWAC, and they probably all do funding the same way.
Well, let me tell you this. We're going to see what Hilton, how's he going to make up that deficit y'all got when y'all go into CAA. We're going to see how great he is, because it's a big deficit. Because like I said, listen, you spending, I think, $16 million on athletics. Delaware spending 40, and Villanova spending 58. So we're going to see how he going to make up that deficit. Like you said, we're going to see what he can do now. Because I told you, I had a lot of respect for Hilton and for your president, but I've been very salty about the fact that you pulled out the MEAC, you go to this conference with me that you had nothing in common with that during Big South, and now you're going CAA. So we're going to see how great your people are.
But I'll put it like this. What's the MEAC? I mean, were you carrying the MEAC? Because let's call it spade a spade. We was carrying the MEAC.
Listen, I can remember for 10 years you were a loser. You weren't carrying it then. When you had Lee Fobbs, you had the coach that was the defensive coordinator at FAMU and at Hampton. You weren't carrying the conference then, and you were a loser. The guy who basically turned your program around was Rod Broadway. Before Rod Broadway got there, you were North Carolina A&T football program was a hot mess.
But it comes with leadership.
So it ain't like you just been doing this. I seen the time when you were losing.
But it comes with leadership, though.
Go ahead and finish up your point, Dre.
You can say the same thing about Jackson State. When you get the right leadership in, you get the right head coach in, and everything gets better. Because it comes down to leadership. It comes down to your president and your AD being on one accord. And when they get on one accord, things like that happen. Because I mean,
Okay,
I would
we'll
like
see.
to say like even if A&T would have been the only one that left, Hampton left, and I'm pretty sure Howard's probably on their last foot because I believe the MEAC's a sinking ship.
No doubt
I
about
believe
that. From I'm seeing now they're sending all their programs over to the NEC. That's why I'm hoping Dr. McClellan will reach out to those MEAC schools and ask them to come to the SWAC. Because them people over there, that administrate, what that lady named Miss Steele and her crew, and that's why I don't want to hear nothing Jay Walker got to say about the MEAC. He needs to stop talking all that mess and go over there and help straighten out his conference.
Go ahead and finish up, Dre. Go ahead and finish up.
That commissioner got out of there right when it was dying. He knew it was going to die.
And he's the reason why. He was one. Exactly. He did nothing. He was a SWAC. Truth be told, the reason A&T wanted out of the MEAC was because of Dr. Dennis Thomas and the fact that he's incompetent and corrupt. That's the main reason A&T wanted out. They could not get the other presidents to vote to fire him to get him removed. That's the number one reason why A&T wanted out of the MEAC, because of the incompetence and the corruptness of Dr. Dennis Thomas.
Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's see if we had 100 yet. At least 100 likes. We had 100 likes. We almost got like 200 people in here. Let's try to get to 150. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Let's read the comments. So the phone lines are open if y'all want to call in. The phone lines are open. Phone number 657-390-4814. You can call in and get on the show.
Hey, that's DLOB 2010. You're absolutely correct. A&T is a great school. You just look at the alumni. When my sister was at Central, we loved going over to Greensboro to visit A&T. A&T is a great school. No doubt about it. I think they got over 2,000 engineering majors.
We got a call coming in. Hold on just a second. This number keep calling and hang it up. Not area code 901. Call back and I'll put you on. Love Mr. Ford, true spoken. So what is with North Carolina A&T? All of a sudden, it's like they keep coming for the SWAC. It's like they want that attention. I see a lot of people from North Carolina doing.
Before the coming of Deion Sanders to Jackson, Mississippi, North Carolina A&T was the toast of the town for HBCU athletics. They had the best football. They had really good girls basketball, outstanding boys basketball, good baseball team, and the track and field was competing with people like Arkansas, Southern Cal, the true blue bloods of the NCAA Power Fives, right? And so once Deion Sanders came to Jackson, nobody was talking about them anymore. It was all about Jackson State.
Yeah, let me get this call on.
My thing was, you should come back to HBCU football so you can go head-to-head with Jackson instead of running off to the CAA.
All right, let me get this other call on. Hold on just a second. What's going on, Carly? You live? Talk to me.
Gabriel Green. What's going on, Swag?
What's going on, Gabriel?
What's going on, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Going pretty good tonight. How y'all doing?
All right, all right.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Okay, I guess kind of like two things, you know. There was a good thing that, you know, that Puffy did, you know, giving back to Howard and giving the Jackson State. I was absolutely shocked when he said he gonna give Deion Sanders Jackson State.
Right. I was totally shocked, but I was happy. I was totally shocked, but I was happy.
Me too. And let me ask y'all this. Yeah. Okay, you know, last week, what's her name? Chelsea Lucas got fired from Grambling.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that?
Okay, now let me just tell you about coaching. Anybody will tell you that. You are under the purview of the president. Even if you're winning, if the president wants to move on from you, they can do that, and that's legal. But this is what I'm hoping. Now, if Ms. Lucas did not commit any NCAA violations or any Grambling violations, I'm asking that Dr. Gallows and them give her 1 year salary. Give her salary. Because school is getting ready to start. You fire her, I think, did they fire her in the last of June or first? It was July, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was
right?
like last week.
Yeah,
last week.
Last week. Okay, so this is what I'm asking. If she didn't break any rules, but you decided you just want to move on from her, I'm asking Dr. Gallows, please give her her salary for this year. Give her salary.
What do y'all think about her saying that the AD told her to get rid of some of those players? That he actually told her that.
I read that too. That she said
that's
that.
crazy to me.
I saw her. I forgot the guy's name. He interviewed her. I think 24/7 Sports, I believe. But he interviewed her, and she sat up there and said that the AD told her to take all of those, cut all those, all those girls like that. Now it's like this right here. Now see, he's talking about both sides of his neck. The AD is. At first, he was saying that he put out a press statement saying that he backed his coach and she has the right to do this and this, all of that. And now, after they fired her, he put out another press release saying, he's down with the students, this student that. Okay, it's like this right here. If she got to go, then he got to go too.
Yeah, I think he kind of putting himself into a box.
Of the president. It's whatever. Because remember now, you can be winning. Rick Comegys was winning. This man went to the SWAC championship. A day after the SWAC championship, he lost to the Southern. They fired him as head coach at Jackson State. He had played, actually could have won the game. The guy just ran out of bounds. Listen, they fired him, and he had just played for the SWAC championship, which he could have won. So, now, I mean, it's at the purview of the president. It's at the purview.
Now, from what I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get off here. Y'all chime in on this. Now, from what I understand, now Ms. Lucas, now she was getting on the girl. Well, for one thing, she said that she was gonna give the girls a tryout. Never did.
Right.
But that's neither here or there.
She refuted that because she said, hold on. So she refuted that. She said that she gave them a tryout and that the girls didn't come to the tryout. That's what she said.
Okay. Well, I heard.
It's so many confusing stories with this. Mm-hmm. It's so many. It's so confusing.
Well, let me just say this. Let me just put this out there.
Okay.
When John Calipari came to the University of Kentucky, he got rid of all the players on the team, helped them transfer. Okay? Don't forget, remember when the SWAC played the spring schedule? After the spring schedule was over, Coach Sanders, Coach Prime, took 35 scholarships. He took 35 scholarships. Now, we come up to the new recruiting season. They're saying that Coach Cornell Maynard brought in 57 new players. Don't you know he had to get rid of all of the players? If he's bringing in 57 new players, how many players did he have to get rid of?
That's over half of the team.
That's what I'm saying. But if you look at the NCAA rule book, when it comes to coaches, the president can fire and hire you whether you are losing or winning. Now, I just gave you the example. This man, Rick Comegys, played for the SWAC championship, lost it to Southern in a very close game. He was fired the next day.
Right.
So it's the purview of the president. That's why I always tell everybody, winning starts with the president. To me, all of these good things that happening at Jackson State, they would not be happening if it had not been for President Hudson and AD Ashley Robson.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
true.
The
trigger to take a chance on Prime. Right.
That's right. And that's what I'm saying. Listen, do you look at the budget of a Texas Southern And somebody explain to me why Texas Southern is not a perennial winner in the SWAC in football with the money that they have, because they got the same money. They might not have as much as Prairie View, but they got that same kind of money. Okay, it's because like the presidents that take over at Texas Southern, athletics is not a problem. Now, don't get me wrong; they do well in women's basketball. They do well in men's basketball. They do well in baseball. I think that their track and field can improve. But
so in other words, they do well in everything but football, huh?
But football, and you got to remember, they're in a city. They're in the fourth largest city in the United States.
Houston, Texas.
That's right. Houston turns out 500 Division I signees every year. You gonna tell me Texas Southern can't get 15 or 20 of them? 500 now.
I think they're gonna be looking for a new coach.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get on down. Look, from what I understand about Chelsea Lucas is this right here. She was getting on the girls for kind of like flirting with the football team, right? And from what I understand, she was sleeping with one of the football coaches, and they married.
No. See, we ain't gonna do that now. We don't know that to be true, so we're not gonna touch that. No, we ain't gonna touch. We ain't gonna touch that.
Yeah, you're right.
We ain't gonna touch that.
We
gotta let you go on that.
We
gotta let you go on that.
It's a lawsuit back there, bro.
Hey,
we get messed with that.
I do not stand behind any of those words that were said. Don't know nothing about that. So Chelsea Lucas, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm sorry that was said. We ain't got nothing to do with that.
We don't know about that. But like I said, and that's another thing. SWAC is if these people have not taken advantage of the spring, if they've not taken advantage of what I call the critical months of June and July, they're not going to win in the SWAC, because we got some people in the SWAC now that are some very outstanding coaching. We got presidents that are committed, and if your president is not committed to athletics, it's going to show up. It's going to show up. It's going to show up. So hopefully everybody, like I said, you took advantage of spring football, and that you made sure your players were eligible, and you've done all your planning. You've made your everything known to your players for all that your players were there working out, and you were putting your X's and O's together for the month of June and July. Because I keep telling people, if you don't do your correct planning in June and July, you're not going to win a lot of football games. I learned that from coaching. The off season is very, very important.
Right. Somebody asked me why I think Texas Southern going to be looking for a new coach. They haven't been winning. They have a good offense, but the defense has been poor. And they haven't been winning. Now,
that's been the situation. When I saw them, I like Doug Marr. She's the offense coordinator, but they can't stop nobody.
Yeah.
They can't stop nobody.
Now,
either he's going to make a change, because he's on. Now, this will be his, fourth year? Will this be his third? Hey, you Texas Southern people. Is this Coach McKinney's third or fourth year? What is it? Because usually they put you on the clock after the third year now.
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if they go get a celebrity coach, because you're in Houston.
Yeah,
you got that Texas money. You're in Houston.
I could see a Ray Lewis or Ed Reed at Texas Southern. I could also see that guy that was at Alcorn, Jay Hobson. Can you imagine Jay Hobson in Houston? Can you imagine him in Houston?
Yeah.
Whew.
The Texas Southern job would be a nice job. It'll be attractive job for
only thing I would like for them to do with the relationship they have with the Houston Texans, fix up that stadium and go away from that soccer field. Play on campus.
Yeah.
Play on campus.
I don't like the way the soccer field. I don't like the way it looks. Like it doesn't look like a football field. And then I seen another game that they played there. They didn't even have their logos on the field, painted on the field. So can they not paint on the field?
Yeah, that's what I heard. They can't play. Hey, Lauren, I kind of disagree with you. I believe if Texas Southern offered Jay Hobson, he'll come to Houston. Lauren, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. I believe if they offered Jay Hobson, because he's defense coordinator now at ULM, I believe. He's with Terry Bowden. If they offered him at Texas Southern, yeah. Now, the other thing, I would like for Texas Southern to do just like Bethune-Cookman did, and that is when Dion comes to Houston, put him in NRG. If not in NRG, put him in at the University of Houston Stadium or put him at Rice Stadium. Don't take him to that soccer field.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I wonder if it's too late for them to change that. It shouldn't be. They should be able to do it.
I wish I would like, listen, if they go NRG, I guarantee you 50, 55 minimum.
Yeah. And they don't have too many people playing there. They don't have anybody playing there that day.
Yeah.
Because the Texas game is
I was talking to a friend of mine.
Thursday.
He was one of my classmates at Clark. He's in Chicago. And he says that JSU and Deion Sanders is ringing in Chicago every day. That's why, once again, I don't know which one, but I do wish Jackson would play a game at Soldiers Field. I really would like to see them go to Soldiers Field.
Hey, y'all. Let's try to get the.
Ruben, I agree with you.
Hold on, Ms. Ford. Let's try to get the likes up to at least 150. We got over 200 people in here. Let's get the likes up to at least 150. Wanted to get it to 200. We can get it to 200 tonight. That'll be awesome. Go ahead, Ms. Ford.
If we could get Durley Stadium on the campus of Texas Southern up to 15,000, if you can seat 15,000, I'll be satisfied. And I would just like for them to play on their campus. But if you're going to bring in a celebrity like Deion Sanders, you need to take that to NRG.
Yeah.
You need to take that to NRG.
All right, let me get this other call. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
What's going on, Callie Live? Talk to me.
Hey, man. What's up? How y'all doing tonight?
Doing great.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm going fine. I just wanted to respond to something that Mr. Ford said. He wasn't completely wrong. I just wanted to add some nuance to it. Comedy was fired because Carolyn Myers didn't like him, but unfortunately, the people who did like Comedy couldn't protect him because he had 2 or 3 years of low grades, and Jackson had already been on probation once, and they were looking at coming up, and it just. I'm like you. I was one of the people who I was angry. I was upset because the man was just in the SWAC championships. Like you said, could have won. The pass was just out of bounds. But the people who rallied around him, you know, when you have 2 or 3 years of just declining graduation rates and failure rates, we couldn't protect them. But so it's a two-part that she didn't really care about athletics. Now you want to talk about a president that didn't care about athletics, Carolyn Myers. But we have to. The other part of the Comedy story is that Comedy doesn't get nearly enough credit for saving the Jackson State program because the president before Myers, Ronald Mason, though a businessman, he didn't care about athletics. In fact, he was the reason how we ended up with a losing high school coach for a head coach. How do you have 3 years as a losing high school coach and then become the head coach of one of the top HBCU programs in the country?
Well, can I just say this right here? I think this is Carrie. I totally disagree with you. I followed Dr. Myers, and let me tell you something. Under Dr. Myers, Jackson State became one of the top academic institutions in the SWAC and in the NCAA. So I can agree with you when you say Myers was trash.
Actions for everything that she gets credit was already. Remember, we was already an R2 school before she got there. We was already like everything for which she gets credit. Nothing like that. It's kind of like how Reagan got credit for Carter's military scheme. It's the same thing. Everything that Carolyn Myers for which she gets credit was actually, and in fact, the same thing for which she got in trouble with Jackson State, misappropriation of funds, is what got her removed from. In fact, you know how like every year they have a CLA. Like I'm a writer, I'm a poet and writer, so we go to CLA, and that's a major literary conference. The folks at her old school sought us out.
Was it Norfolk?
Was it? Yeah.
Was it Norfolk State?
I know it was in the northern eastern school.
I think it was Norfolk State. I think somebody tell us. I think Dr. Myers was at Norfolk State.
They sought us out, and the first thing they asked us, they said, "Y'all ain't got no phones." And we were like, "What do you mean? Y'all could have called us. We could have told you why she got fired from here." So she left 2 schools behind misappropriation of funding. Now, here's where it gets real funky. What's really cold-blooded about it was the IHL knew that she misappropriated the funds, but they signed off on everything that she did, which is why she be prosecuted.
Okay.
And Mr. Ford can tell you about Rob Page. Y'all don't know who Page is, but Mr. Ford can tell you about Rob Page, former Jackson State football player, ended up being in the secretary.
He was very close to the Bushes.
Yeah,
Rob
he was
Page
secretary
of
education for the Bushes. Well, he was secretary of education under one of the Bushes. He was the one who came in, and he came in as the interim, and he basically told IHL, and this is how you know IHL didn't want to solve the issue. Rob Page said, look, everybody, he said there are two sets of people. He said the people who should go to jail ain't no longer here, and the people that's here are not going to tell me anything because they don't want to go to jail. I need you to allow me to appoint my own investigation team, and IHL wouldn't let him do it. And he was gone within a year, and that's when they brought in somebody else.
Yeah, they brought in the guy from Mississippi Valley, I believe.
Yeah, and we saw what that idiot. We saw what that fool did. So Myers was a pawn of IHL who followed Mason, who was a pawn of IHL, and which means we had basically. Now I have to give Mason his credit as far as he was a good businessman, but unfortunately,
caller 704. I'm gonna get to you next. Go ahead and finish up your point.
And I know that I do know that Dr. Myers had a real good relationship, I think, with Governor Bryant. I think his name was Governor Phil Bryant, with this guy Thad Cochran. I know she had a really good relationship with them.
She was in all that. She was in with them. I'm not gonna say she was in their hip pocket, but what I do know is how can you get fired for misappropriation of funding and not be prosecuted because IHL signed off on the way you misappropriated those funds? So both Mason and Myers, had it not been for Comedy, and I know the years got lean, and I'll end on this. The real problem, it was a problem that Comedy got fired. But the real problem, to show you how Myers didn't have her head on straight, if you know this man has 3 years of questionable graduation rate and you have to fire him, should you be putting a list together?
Oh, yeah.
So that lets you know that she didn't care about him or Jackson State football. And that's why I really want to call and say that Comedy doesn't get enough props for saving Jackson State football and keeping it afloat. And I know we had some lean years out there, but I always think the people look over Comedy. I appreciate what both Mr. Ford, SWAC Buzz, I appreciate what both of y'all do, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to jump off.
All right, thank you.
And let me say this. Now, I did hear, like I said, SWAC Buzz, this might be a little gossip, but I was told that the Mississippi legislature did not like the fact that she brought Miss Obama down to Jackson to be I think it was the commencement speaker.
Yeah.
And I had heard that they were not happy with that.
Let me get this other call.
A lot of the people in the Mississippi legislature didn't like that.
What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me. First, before you do that, we got 225 people in the chat. We don't have 150 likes yet, man. We need to at least be at 200. Come on now, y'all pimping me. Come on now, let's do better. All right, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, this is Jerome from Charlotte, representing Jackson State. I just wanted to comment, man, on a couple of inaccuracies. Let me preface what I'm about to say by saying I definitely appreciate everything that Coach Comedy was to the program. But let's be honest, man. So going back to Mason, of course, Mason was an athletics guy. His background was research and fundraising. When he came to Jackson State, there was already some pushback from a lot of alums because he wasn't, he wasn't us. Now, I was new school Jacksonian. I came as a freshman in 2002. He arrived in 2000, but what I've been told, because he was an outsider, he came from Tulane. Folks didn't want him. They felt like, because he had a PWI background, he was, I guess an agent of the IHL. And people have been saying that for decades,
Right.
But either way, this brother single-handedly boosted Jackson State's academic profile. We became an R2 institution along with A&T and Howard and Morehouse in about 2001. And, brought in engineering, which, of course, was a direct reflection of the Ayers case. But he got Jackson State in the right direction when it came to fundraising. We became the number one HBCU when it came to garnering federally funded research dollars and grants. Still doing 20-something years later, but he wasn't an athletic guy. He had an athletic director in Brady, who was a Jacksonian. He let him basically run the show.
Right.
Brady brought in his homeboy, Coach Bell. Now we got to remember, we went 7-4 3 straight seasons after Big Daddy died in '99.
Right.
And a lot of, for Jackson State fans, that's unacceptable. So I don't feel like getting rid of Coach Hughes was the wrong answer. I just feel like the replacement was the wrong answer, and Brady was trying to, he tried to look out for his homeboy. He brought in Coach Bell. Now, fast forward to Coach Comedy. He definitely saved our program. He stopped the bleeding. What the caller doesn't understand, when Myers, let me backtrack. Myers is at Norfolk State.
Yeah.
She made the mistake of not aligning herself with alumni. And because she didn't align herself with the alumni, after her first year, they tried everything in their power to get rid of her. So when she came to Jackson State, she said, I learned from that mistake, and she tried her best to align herself with JSU alumni. She went on an alumni tour, embraced everybody. So there was some rumblings, of course, regarding the APR. Now, people think that we got rid of Comedy because of the APR. That clearly was not the case, because we have folks in the athletic department and at Jackson State who work for the NCAA, and they were able to garner that grant that we got from the NCAA to help boost our APR, because we were classified as a limited resource institution. The issue with Comedy, man, was, I'm not going to put all the business out there, but there was a big incident that happened in Huntsville in 2013 when we played A&M that we kind of keep under wraps. But that, in my opinion, was a straw that broke the camel's back. But also, we got to remember, man, Comedy was recruiting, some players that, if you go back in the news, man.
Try to be real quick with your point, because I got another caller, so try to finish up for me.
Okay. But the point is, like, some of those brothers, man, they were getting, arrested around Jackson, you know what I'm saying, around the stores and whatnot. Yeah. And, when you look at what Myers did, the reason why she got fired from Jackson State or let go, the real issue was she was playing chess with the IHL. People got to remember with that Ayers case, Jackson State, Alcorn, and Valley, in order for us to get that final distribution of money, we had to all raise our non-Black enrollment by 10%. And what she did was she opened up that Madison campus in downtown Jackson, as well as downtown Jackson campus, to get that 10% figure. She also played chess by a number of other things, man, and that's why they hated her. So they told Jackson State that we were growing too fast enrollment-wise, and that's why they wouldn't build us more dorms. And it's just a political ploy. But I will say, man, overall, man, we got to be careful disseminating incorrect information, because, the IHL at that time, now the IHL definitely is way more diverse. We got HBCU representation on that board now.
Appreciate the call, brother. I had to land that plane for you, brother. Appreciate the call. Let me get this other call on. What's going on, Callie Live? Talk to me.
Hey, man, I hate to call back. I know you got a lot of calls, but the brother doesn't even have his history right. Robert Brady, who was a great, famous Jackson State baseball player, was not the original AD under Mason. Okay. Mason brought in his own AD. That dude is who hired Bill.
Right. That's
Mason, right. Robert Brady. See, that's what I'm saying. So the dude's fact not even correct. Brady became the AD after Mason finally fired his original AD from the upcry from Jackson State, and then Mason, and it was Robert Brady who brought in Comedy. See, it's like you guys said, this information, the fact, get your facts right, bro. Brady was not Mason's AD. Brady cleaned up Mason and the other AD's mess. That's the bottom line. And again, now I do agree. I do agree that Comedy had a lot of academic issues, and a lot of it came from when you bring in transfers. As y'all know, the problem with bringing in transfers is you may be taking a chance on the guy, and about 50% of his transfers just wasn't going to class. That's the bottom line of Comedy. And so those of us who love Comedy, right, But yeah, so I just wanted to come back and clear that up. It was Robert Bradley actually cleaned up Mason and the AD's mess. And like I said, Mason was a good business, but don't forget, and here's the thing that people forget about Mason. And by the way, when did people didn't like Mason? Mason is from Southern. Mason worked at Tulane after he left Southern. So when Mason got to Jackson State, he was looked at as an HBCU guy because he was a Southern product. The real issue with Mason is if people don't remember when IHL tried to combine all of the HBCUs in Jackson, Mason had a plan to create to merge all of the black HBCUs into one school, and that is what eventually got rid of Mason. It's when Jackson State, the alumni students at Jackson State got word that Mason was trying to merge, because he had the plan in his office. His plan was discovered. Somebody in his cabinet actually leaked the plan that he was trying to work with IHL.
I know the governor was trying to merge all the HBCUs in Mississippi.
Yeah. IHL was doing that. Mason had signed off on it. Mason had a plan, and that plan got leaked. Mason's plan to work with IHL, it was going to be called Jacob State. And the reason he wanted to call Jacob State is because I think Jacobs was one of the original founders at Jackson State. He had a plan called the Jacob State University Plan, which was going to try to work with IHL to merge the black colleges. And once Jackson State alumni and other people got word of that was when it was time for Mason to go.
Okay. Well, thank you for the call. All right.
No problem.
All right. Let's see how we doing on the likes, y'all. We got over 200 people in the chat. I know we should be at least at man, we at 156. Come on, y'all. Let's get it to 200. We're trying to get to 200 tonight. Jacob State. All right, Miss Guy. Appreciate
I learned something new. I never heard of that. Jacob State.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Now Jerome is calling back. Now, Jerome, we've been talking about Cummings for a while now. We're gonna try to steer the show to something else. I'm gonna let you get your last little point off, but I'm not gonna keep you on too long because we gotta steer the show to something else. You know, we've been talking about Cummings for about 20 minutes now. Go ahead, Colin.
Hey,
go ahead.
I'm gonna keep it short, man. So,
go ahead.
Number one, man, Ronald Mason was not a Southern guy. Ronald Mason graduated from Columbia University. He went to Tulane to teach. He came to Jackson State. After he left Jackson State, he was hired at Southern as the president of the Southern University system. So he was not at Southern prior to coming to Jackson State. He had no affiliation with them. Number two, man, when it comes to the reason why people got to remember, the reason why President Mason came up with that merger idea was because at the time, the governor, I think it was Haley Barbour, he announced to all the public institutions that forthcoming, there was going to be massive budget cuts. And he asked every president of every university to come up with an idea to help save costs. President Mason, he wrote his idea down. Somebody got a hold of his idea on paper and leaked it to the press. Now, number three, Ronald Mason was leaving Jackson State anyway. If everybody remembers when he first got to Jackson State, he made it clear that he felt that no president at a HBCU could be truly effective, at a public HBCU could be effective more than 10 years. That's how he felt at the time. So he came in 2000. His last year was 2010. He was definitely on par to leave anyway. Everybody knows President Mason, his ultimate dream job was to be the president of Howard. Hence why now he's at UDC in DC. But we got to keep things. I give the brother, you know what I'm saying, his props. It wasn't A.D. Brady at the time. But the point of the matter is, it wasn't President Mason that hired James Bell. It was the athletic director that brought him in. I'm just
Somebody just put his name up there, Coverson.
All right.
That Coverson hired Avis.
All right, thank you for the call. Yeah. Appreciate that. So I remember I was at Jackson State when they was talking about their merger, and Dr. Glover, who's the president at Tennessee State, she was my teacher at the time, and she went down to the Capitol raising hell against the Mississippi government about them trying to merge the schools. So I remember that time. It was a crazy time. Like everybody was like, "What, you trying to merge Alcorn and Valley with Jackson State?" The alumni, all three schools, they were pissed off. Alcorn alumni wasn't for it. Valley alumni wasn't for it. I just thought it was a crazy thing that they would want to merged all three of the black schools. See, what they was trying to do,
Right.
the government in Mississippi was trying to do, they was trying to make that money that they was giving all the HBCUs, instead of giving it to all three of them, they would just be able to give it to one HBCU if they merged all us together. So it was a racial thing going on with that. But y'all know how the politics in Mississippi can be sometimes. But yeah, that's just kind of what it was.
Was Phil Bryant the governor of Mississippi at the time? Who was the governor?
What was that
Because
guy?
I remember Haley Barbour.
Yeah, that was who it was.
They
That's who it
considered
was.
Haley Barbour. They was thinking he could run for president.
That's who it was. It was Haley Barbour.
It was Haley Barbour, Phil Bryant.
It was Haley Barbour. I remember.
Haley Barbour. Yeah, I remember him. I remember Haley Barbour.
Yeah.
Now, the thing I've always remembered, now somebody have to correct me on this, but I was told that Phil Bryant's uncle, Roy Bryant, was one of the people who murdered Emmett Till. That was his uncle. Phil Bryant's uncle was Roy Bryant.
Ain't no telling. That stuff goes so deep. But LJ Lowe says SWAC Media Day missing some starting QBs. How's your QB not the leader of the team? The coach could be trying to send a message to one of the players by not letting him come to SWAC Media Day. Could be sending a message.
And I saw Alabama State's bringing their quarterback.
Yeah.
That kid that transferred from Auburn, he's coming. That Davis kid. He's coming. I know Shadua is coming.
Yeah, Travis is gonna be there as well.
Who's coming for FAMU? Did you see?
No, I didn't see who was coming for FAMU. Oh, I know Isaiah Land. I think Isaiah Land is coming.
Isaiah, and did they say who's coming for the offense?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I know that Travis is coming too. Travis and Shadua are coming for Jackson.
All right, let me get this other call.
Who was coming for Alcorn? Did you see who was coming for them? Oh, Xavier Smith. Okay, Xavier Smith. Okay, thank you, Jordan. Jordan said Isaiah Land and Xavier Smith are coming for FAM.
All right, let me get this other call on. Hold on.
Okay.
What's going on, Carly Live? Talk to me.
What's going on, SWAC Buzz? My name is Doc Holliday, and I'm with HBCU Overdrive. That's my YouTube channel. How you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how you doing?
Man, it's been a minute since I heard you, bro.
Yeah.
HBCU Overdrive. I like that name.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, man. I'm a Jackson State. I'm a Jackson State person. I remember, and I was actually there in 09. It was in spring 09 when they tried to merge all three schools together. And yes, like you said, Governor Barbour was making that idea, try to get that idea into play.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, we all was not having it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like the day when we went to when everybody went to the inauguration. That's early in January. They was down at the state capitol raising hell to try to make sure that everything stayed in place.
Yeah.
So now I could tell you, like, and then let me tell you how I go back. I was at that state when Dr. Lyons was the president. So I'm a product.
Okay.
I'm a product of Dr. Lyons. I'm a product, you know what I'm saying? I remember when Mason came into the school and tried to do everything, because at the time we were like, at that time in 2000, we were like, look, yeah, he's a Southern guy. We felt like he was a Southern guy because he was the president there, and we kind of didn't want that, you know what I'm saying, what was going on with how Southern was. We didn't want that to come up to Jackson State. We didn't want that to be at JSU. So we try to, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that was like, well, no, we really don't want you here. But in the end, it came out to be a good thing, because if he wasn't there, then, the school was saying, when we got the engineering program and all that stuff up in there. And to me, even though we were, how the school was before, he basically kind of like pushed the agenda even further, as basically making a school a walk-through campus. So, and I was, so I was there at that time. And then when I came back in 09, Dr. Myers was president at the time. So people had their reservation about her because it was the fact that even though she was more academic, she didn't really care about athletics. She didn't care about football teams. Because back then, like when I was in school, 97 to 2000, 2001, as far as the football team goes, it didn't matter if it was coach, if it was Big Daddy as a coach, or it was Coach Judge, Judge as a coach. We knew when the football team knew when they go out there to go play, they were gonna whoop somebody ass. And we're gonna try to beat you by 40 or 50 points.
Okay.
And at the time when Comedy, because I kind of made out for a little bit when I started watching again, when Comedy became the head coach, and he brought that tenacity and that lust, the glory, kind of like get the glory years to come back. So I mean, it's we basically Jack State had an up years and we had our down years. So, but I just look at it saying that it being up now this year, because of Dion and the effect that he has on the school, and the effect that he has on the whole conference. Because if you really think about it, with the whole conference, you wouldn't even know who Andrew Body was until he came to play in the second or third game against Rice.
Go ahead and finish up your point.
You want to know who Jordan Lewis. You wouldn't know all these players right there. But that's all I have to say, though, man.
Okay. I appreciate the call.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so I have the list of who's going to be at SWAC Media Day up. So for Alabama A&M, they're going to have Abdul Fattah Ibrahim and Gary Carl's running back. For Alabama State, they're going to have Demetrius Davis, the quarterback, and Urshad Davis, the DB.
Defensive back.
Alcorn, they're going to have C.J. Bowler, the wide receiver, and Cameron Kinsler Jr. He's a DB. And Bethune-Cookman, they're bringing their tight end, Kamari Everett, and their DB, Amari Hill Robinson. And then FAMU, we already said Isaiah Land and Xavier Smith. Grambling, they're going to have Tyler Thomas, he's an offensive lineman, and Joshua Reed, the DB. And yeah, we already said Jackson State, Shadur, and Travis. Valley, they're going to have their running back, Caleb Johnson, and their defensive lineman, Ronnie Thomas. Prairie View, they're bringing their quarterback, Trazon Conley, and their linebacker, Travion Green. And Southern, they're going to bring their offensive lineman, Dallas Black, and their defensive lineman, Cameron Peterson. And then Texas Southern, they bring in Andrew Body and DeMontario Anderson, the defensive lineman. And then UAPB, they bring in Skylar Perry, that's their quarterback, and Mark Evans, their offensive lineman. You know what?
Now Skylar Perry is he's got a lot of experience. He should have a big year this year.
Yeah,
he's been a starting quarterback 3 years or 4 years.
I think
at least 3, right? Somebody on here.
It might have been 2 years.
How long has Skylar Perry been? Because he's from New Orleans. I think Skylar's from New Orleans. He's been your starting quarterback at least 3 years.
Yeah, it might have been 2 years. I said Grambling. Already. Tyler Thomas and Joshua Reed. That's who they're bringing.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. But
Skylar should have a big year. He's got a lot. He got a ton of experience.
Yeah. That's it is kind of strange that it's only like 3 or 4 quarterbacks being brought. You would think,
you
there'd
just
be
said
more.
It though. A lot of these people, they still having them quarterback battle. Somebody just put it in the chat. A number of these teams are still trying to decide on their quarterback. Because I was listening to Coach, I think Coach Simmons down at FAMU, and he was kind of defending Rashad McKay as if he might start him again. And I still say that Rashad McKay is the reason they didn't win the SWAC last year. Now, that's just me. Because I just think he's too inexperienced. There's too many things he can't do.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna beat people like Jackson State and Southern and Grambling, you got to have outstanding quarterback play. You can't beat them without that.
Right.
Yeah.
But so Tiffany Green and what his name, Jay Walker, they're gonna be broadcasting. Do y'all like them having them do the broadcast, or do y'all want new people?
Oh, I love them. Especially Tiffany.
I love Tiffany Green.
I love Tiffany. I like Jay's X's and O's, but that stuff when he's trying to start, he does the Homer stuff with the MEAC and all that stuff, which is not true. That gets on my nerves, and then he tries to me, he's always trying to put FAM down. That's me, but he's always trying to put FAM down. He's not as hard on Jackson. He gives Grambling their play, but he's just got this thing with FAM. It's always something about FAM.
Yeah. Can we get 32 more likes? Can we get 32 more likes?
I like his X's and O's when he explains that stuff. Now Jay does a great job offensively now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just gets on my nerve trying to put down FAM so much.
Yeah. You know how he is.
Now I haven't really heard him get on Jay. Okay, Tony Cook says Jay Walker is a JSU hater. Tony, I haven't really heard him get on Jackson State like he does FAM.
He can't. What can he say?
That's what I'm saying. I've never really heard him get on Jackson.
He can't really say nothing.
Stay on FAM now.
You can't really say nothing when the team went undefeated, didn't lose a game, so he couldn't really say anything about it. But I know he did say that FAMU could have beat Jackson State, so he was like he don't really know who the best team. He said something like that on one of the games that I was watching. But yeah, let's try to get to
right here. You right, Marcus. That's MEAC. Hey, yeah, that's what I take it as a lot. Because he'll break down that stuff, what they're doing on the field, but then he goes back and says, and then the other thing that gets me is when he does his give me 5 and he tries to do the schools, somebody need to send him their history. Because he leaves out so many folks. He leaves out so many people when he does his give me 5. He does this thing, he says give me 5, top 5 at Jackson State, and then he just leaves out so many people.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be a dope event. I really hope that everything runs smooth.
I think it's going to be packed.
Yeah, I really hope everything runs smooth.
I think the media's going to be on it, boy.
Yeah.
Now they're having theirs on the 20. Is it the 27th? What's the date of the? What's the date of the?
Let me see. I think it's the 21st.
The media day for the SWAC. Anybody know the date?
It's the 21st.
Oh, it's the 21st.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so when does the SEC have theirs, or is the SEC in Atlanta? Are they in Birmingham also?
I don't think so. Let me see.
Because it'll probably be triple times if the SEC is there also. That's going to be a lot of. They getting enough media, but that's going to be a lot of media right there.
Yeah, SEC is going to be in Atlanta. And they're gonna be July 18th through the 21st.
Right. Okay, so they're gonna be in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, so it's in Atlanta. Okay, but I still expect a lot of media to be at that SWAC Media Day now.
Joey, I couldn't make it this year. No, I'm not going. What you say, Mr.
What do you think about 300 media outlets or 200?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be 200 or 300. It's gonna be a lot.
That's what I was thinking too.
It's gonna be a lot.
The SWAC is hot. Like I tell people, the SWAC is 38 hot. Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be a good event. I think we have the coaches. We got Hugh Jackson there. You're gonna have Coach Prime there.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. Then you got Willie Simmons. I like hearing him talk. He's a very good speaker. And he motivates you.
Willie's great.
I see why the players love to play for him because he can motivate you the way he talks. So I like him a lot.
I want to see Willie in his second try against Deion Sanders. He lost the first one.
Yeah.
Deion leads him 1-0. So let's see what Willie's gonna do in that second game.
Let's see who we got calling now.
The thing that I'm worried about is I don't want any of those FAMU players to get hurt in that North Carolina game. They go to Chapel Hill on the 0 week. I think that's the 27th of August or something like that. And I'm hoping none of his players get hurt.
Let me get this caller on. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
What's going on, caller? You live? Talk to me.
Hey, this is Gabriel again. I just want to, I guess, get y'all opinion on this right here. Now, it is going to be a good SWAC Media event. Like you said, you're going to have Hugh Jackson, and you're going to have Coach Prime there. So that should be pretty good there. I guess, now I heard that, you know, the Bayou Classic is supposed to be on NBC this year. That wasn't a good TV deal. As a matter of fact, they're saying that NBC is making, I think, Southern, pay for the doggone commercials, and they had a chance to be shown on ESPN. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing about my show, I don't like the I heard stuff, you know. I like to know stuff, you know. So if we can't check that as fact,
that's what I read. That's
what I
read,
okay. So you read that? Where you read that at?
You can Google it.
Okay. Because I don't want nobody saying that, you know.
I did see something about them getting a 3-year extension.
Yeah,
I didn't see anything about the contract details.
Yeah, they didn't.
I'm kind of like, I'm just glad they got the 3-year extension. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah. Because I know they're being charged to show commercials. Okay. And so I guess my main question is this right here. Now Jackson State, they had James Houston to get drafted. And I hate that what's my boy named, the defensive back from FAMU, Marquise Bell.
Yeah.
I hate that's a good player. I hate I hate like hell that he went undrafted to the Cowboys.
I can't Google it while I'm doing the show. Go ahead. Go ahead, finish.
Okay. So my thing is this right here. What does the SWAC, you know, I guess HBCU have to do in order, you know, for more players to get drafted? You know, rather that, you know, maybe they have to.
Can I just say this? They have always done that to us, and it's economics. See, when you get drafted, they got a scale they go by. When you're a free agent and you're not drafted, they can give you the peanuts. But here's the thing. Remember Everson Walls, Dallas Cowboys? He was not drafted. But guess what, guys? He's up for the NFL Hall of Fame. So for me, I don't care if they're not drafted, as long as they get a shot. That's what I say. Because if some of these players in the SWAC, if you give them a shot, they will make that 53-man team, or they will make the practice team. My thing is, give them a shot. I know they're going to, like I said, it's economics. If like I watched that kid, that Marquise Bell, that kid is big time. Yeah. That kid is awesome. Yeah. And they say he's balling out there in Dallas. But here's the thing. They got him free agent so they can pay him less. But guess what? If he sticks, they're going to have to ultimately pay him. But I just want you to know now that Everson Walls is up for the NFL Hall of Fame, but he was not drafted.
Yeah,
and there's been a lot of black players like that.
Yeah, from what I understand, Mel Blount, he went in undrafted to the Steelers.
I wouldn't doubt it. I need to check on that. I wouldn't doubt it. My thing is, I just want him to get an opportunity. Just give him a shot.
Right.
Yeah, I put a post on my. All right, appreciate the call. Okay. I put a post up on my Twitter with Everson Walls, Ken Riley, I can't remember the other guy. He's from Prairie View. Otis.
And it's a shame that Ken Riley's not in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but they made it to the second round.
I saw him as a little child. He was the quarterback of Florida A&M, and they wouldn't let him play quarterback, so they made him go to defensive back. He and Lamar Parrish were two of the best defensive backs you wanted to see. And it's really a shame that Ken Riley's not in that NFL Hall of Fame. Them people at FAMU should be raising hell. They should be emailing, calling, and protesting outside the office of Roger Goodell until they put Ken Riley in that Hall of Fame.
Otis Taylor, that's who it is.
Superstar corner.
Yeah, so all three of them, they made it to they're the 25 semifinalists for the Hall of Fame. So they go into the next stage of the election
Okay, with the
process.
Ken Riley?
Yeah, so it's Everson Walls, Ken Riley, and Otis Taylor. Otis Taylor played at Prairie View.
Them people you just got, Otis Taylor is long overdue. Otis Taylor was the best wide receiver in that AFL and AFC for many years. It don't make no sense that he's not in that Hall of Fame, and it's long overdue for that Ken Riley. And you said Everson Wall. Everson should have been in that too. And you're right. Somebody said Harold Jackson and Jimmy Smith. That's right. Both of them should be, especially that Harold Jackson. I remember when he came into the league, nobody could match up with him. He came in, I think, with Philadelphia, and he really showed out with the Los Angeles Rams. He was out there with John Hadle and the guy from Grambling, James Shack Harris. He was with them. But now he couldn't coach now. Harold was a disaster as a coach. But as a ball player, it's no way that guy shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Harold Jackson? Oh, I saw him growing up. He was awesome.
Yeah.
Jimmy Smith, them guys should be in the Hall of Fame. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But them people at FAMU, y'all need to get off y'all behind and lobby for Ken Riley.
Yeah.
You should be calling that office. You should be emailing that office, and you ought to go up there and protest in front of Goodell's office. That guy should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Ain't no way he should be in the Hall of Fame.
He's still in the running.
Wait a minute. L.C. Greenwood is not in the Hall of Fame? Can somebody check that? L.C. Greenwood is not in the Hall of Fame?
Let me see. Hold on. I can check it real
SWAC,
quick.
yeah, check that. I thought everybody on that front four for them was in the Hall of Fame, what they call the steel curtain. He's not, because he went to Arkansas, Pine Bluff. That's where L.C. Greenwood
he was a finalist in 2005, but did not get elected.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Listen, then them people at Pine Bluff need to do the same thing FAMU should be doing. They should be emailing, calling, up there protesting in front of Goodell's office. That dude, L.C. Greenwood, was one of the greatest linemen of his era. He used to wear gold, his spikes or his shoes were gold. That guy was awesome.
Yeah,
L.C. Greenwood is not in the Hall of Fame.
I seen a post that said people saying Ben Roethlisberger might get in before him.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I want to answer that question. I want to answer the question the caller asked about what can SWAC schools do to make sure our players get drafted. I think this season, so you know the NFL is biased. Some of the scouts, they're biased. So we have a few schools that have a few Power 5 games on their schedule. Like Southern plays LSU, and FAMU plays North Carolina. So those games, those players really have to put on, because if you get a pick, you do something special in those games, you can get drafted. Just like Jacoby Durant, he popped on the scene when he got those 2 picks against Clemson, and he's a 4th round pick now. So you just have to, when you get those opportunities, you have to really put on. So I think that's what we can do, and the exposure. We have to just get our games on TV. Like I said, I want us to try to get a streaming deal with one of these streaming giants and see if we can get more exposure for the conference. Go ahead.
Well, let me add this also. See, one of the things they got to do in the SWAC, you got to bring in coaches who have been successful in the NFL. No, listen, what Deion did when he brought Dennis Thurman down there, everybody in the NFL knows Dennis Thurman. Mm-hmm. Okay, Hugh Jackson, everybody knows Hugh Jackson. We got to get those kind of people on our coaching staffs, and then a lot of them general managers, when they know that you done played under Dennis Thurman, they don't have no problem about drafting you. We, especially on the offensive side of the ball, we've got to get these people with offensive expertise from the NFL to come to the SWAC. That's one of the things I love about Deion, that he brought in all them coaches with NFL experience. That's what these other schools have got to do too. Yeah. They got to do the same thing.
Trey said Nugget is getting zero attention. I think Nugget is going to be fine. I think he ran that 4.3. He ran that 4.3. He's already on their radar, I believe. And Coach Prime is going to make sure. Coach Prime is going to make sure that he gets the attention that he deserves. So I think Nuggets gonna be fine. And then he was touted as one of the top JUCO athletes, and Georgia wanted him, so they don't forget stuff like that. I don't think they forgot him, so I think he's gonna be all right.
Oh, I think he puts on a clinic this year. Yeah. I think Travis and the young man Nuggets gonna put on a clinic. Yeah. Now the guy that I want to really show out is that John Huggins. I'm very impressed with him. Now, they played, I think they were playing the coach's son in front of him. That John Huggins kid is the truth. Now, I hope he's eligible and ready to play, because to me, he's a pro. Mm. You put him at that free, you can put him at the strong, you can even put him at a little linebacker. But that John Huggins kid, that kid is the truth, man. I want to see him have a big year this year.
We got another call. Let's see who we have calling on. What's going on, Call? You live. Talk to me.
Hey, this is Nash. Hey, first of all, good show. I like you and Mr. Green. But one of the things that we can do when it comes to the SWAC for our players to get drafted, that we have to play better competition. And I don't mean Power 5, just more so the mid-major schools. Right. I believe Houston would have got drafted higher if he would play against better competition. And when you look at Jackson State, they won the SWAC, got a lot of talent, but are they outside the conference? They out of conference schedule tough. And I think they do have the talent to play. And I think that would hurt some of the guys when they're not being exposed to better competition.
I see what you're saying, but I feel like if Jackson State dominates their schedule, like 50-0, 50-15, 40 to this, like if they're dominating their opponents, they're gonna get the attention of those scouts. So I think if you play a schedule like that, like what Jackson State plays, and they dominate their conference, I think that's gonna be just as good as you playing like a mid-major school. I think it'll get their attention.
Can I just say this? Let me just say this. One thing I would like for the SWAC to do, I wish we would take 1 week and just match up against the Southland Conference.
That would be cool.
Alcorn, 1 week, Alcorn play a Southland Conference team. Southern play McNeese. Alcorn play Stephen F. Austin. Jackson play a team from in Nicholls State. Is that Southland Conference? Right. Yeah. Okay, Jackson play. In Alabama. If we could do 1 week, that would help. And I agree with you, but I don't believe in this trying to play North Carolina, Michigan, Alabama. I don't believe in that.
Can we get 16 more lights? 16 more lights.
Yeah, and another thing. But here's the question I wanted to ask you and Mr. Green is that I'm looking at Alcorn schedule. They have a pretty good out of conference schedule. Let's just say Alcorn don't win the SWAC. Let's say Alcorn don't win the SWAC and they go 10-1. Would they get in the playoff? If Jackson State don't win the SWAC and go 10-1, would they get in the playoff?
Yeah, I mean that's what they want to do. They want to send a team to the playoff and send a team.
Yeah, I think the second team will possibly get a playoff. Whoever is the second team.
Yeah.
The winner of the SWAC will come to Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl. Just like last year, whoever the second team or the team that plays for the SWAC championship but loses, they will probably go to the FCS playoff.
Oh, so that's an automatic berth? That's not a...
they have to vote. They have to vote them in.
But I think that they would go, just like FAM went last year, because they lost that game against Jackson State at the beginning of the season, but they didn't. They only lost. Okay, Jackson State beat them, and then the only other school was that school that beat them in the playoffs, right?
Right.
That's Southeastern Louisiana. That was the only somebody beat them, I think. They lost 2 games last year, right?
Yeah, I was just looking at, when they look at the playoff, when they select the at-large bid, do they look at the out-of-conference schedule? That's what I was, looking at. What opponents have you played?
No, yeah. I mean they go by your conference schedule.
Whoever's the runner-up, probably, especially in that East, they're gonna get a playoff bid.
Okay. But this year, I believe that the SWAC gonna be probably the best. All the teams gonna be much better because that transfer portal. And
my thing with Jackson State, if that offensive line comes through for them, nobody's gonna beat them.
They lost against South Florida too.
If that offensive line and that offensive coach picks the best kids up front, nobody's gonna beat Jackson.
FAMU lost against USF.
This Jackson State quarterback transferred to Southern. Grambling quarterback transferred to Southern.
Yeah, his name was Noah Biden. Yeah, he did transfer.
And the kid he can play. So I'm looking. I'm looking forward to that game when Jackson State plays Southern. Like I say,
that's gonna be big. That's gonna be a pack house.
I think the SWAC game's gonna be very important this year. I mean, I think they're gonna be.
You know what?
Good.
And that game should be on ESPN or ESPN2. That game, not no ESPN Plus. That game that's gonna be 60 to 65,000. Probably a sellout before that Saturday. You're going to have the whole country looking at that game. That game should be on ESPN or ESPN2.
And I'm hoping, Mr. Ford, I'm hoping that we can get a TV contract, and I think you'll see a lot of these kids going to the HBCUs if we can get a TV contract.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, my thing is, if you see, one of the reasons Eddie Robinson put so many players in the NFL and Tennessee State put so many players in the NFL back in the day is because they prepared those kids the NFL way.
Right.
Doug Williams wasn't just talented. Rob prepared him to be an NFL quarterback. Shaq Harris wasn't just talented. Rob prepared him. Tennessee State, that man, old man Gillum, Coach Gillum, they prepared them players to play in the NFL. Cat Coleman, I think, who was an Alcorn graduate, was an offensive mastermind. He would always meet with the NFL. Matter of fact, he was teaching them. Yeah. And so I remember years ago, there was a guy named Roscoe Nance who wrote for the Clarion Ledger and also wrote for the USA Today. He said, we needed better offensive coaching. We needed more, and that's what I'm saying. We got to get people in the SWAC who have a NFL background.
Yeah,
it was genius to make Dennis Thurman the defensive coordinator at Jackson State. Everybody in the NFL, all the owners, all the GMs know Dennis Thurman.
Exactly.
And when they call him and ask him about Nugget, and he tells them Nugget is ready, Nugget's gonna be drafted.
Yeah,
because they know Dennis Thurman.
Exactly. You're so correct. Yes, you are correct.
And then Coach Prime had them run. They had them run last year when those scouts was on campus. They had Nugget run, and so the scouts seen him run I think it was a 4.3. He ran a 4.3.
Mm-hmm.
So he's he's fine. He's straight.
And did the guy from South Carolina State, the cornerback, did he get drafted? The cornerback from South Carolina State.
Yeah. Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, he was the 4th round.
He's with the Rams.
Yeah, he's with the Rams.
Okay, yeah. He gonna make that squad. He can play.
That boy can play, man. He can. Listen, if they had some players on. Now I got to give it to him. There were some people on here telling us about South Carolina State last year. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really follow the MEAC because I thought the MEAC was dead. But let me tell you something. When I saw that game at that Celebration Bowl, that they had been like CFL and some of them other talking heads. They were talking about them kids. And I when I saw that, the Kobe Bryant, the guy that I'm thinking that should make pros is that wide receiver.
He's about 6'5". He about 6'5".
Yeah, kid there can do it, man. He can do it.
He was just a sophomore, so he'll be a junior this year. I'm sure he'll be coming out. If he have a good year, he's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got now you know that running back they got Kendrell Flowers. If he continues to improve, and he's going to be a pro prospect. And then they went and got 3 kids who was offered by several divisions, Power 5 schools. They're going to be backing him up. South Carolina State has one of the deepest running back rooms in all of HBCU sport, football. Them people listen, don't be surprised South Carolina State come back better.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised now.
I think it was freshman and sophomore on their team.
Yeah, they didn't lose nobody. Other than, like we said, that Kobe Durant and maybe a couple of more. All them kids is coming back. So listen, it's gonna be a big game. Now you know Florida A&M has to go to Orangeburg. They're gonna be waiting on them now. But now, one thing I will say this about Willie Simmons now. Willie kind of owns South Carolina State. If you go back and look at since Willie been at FAM, South Carolina State can't do nothing with him. They hadn't been able to do nothing with him. So, but that's going to be a battle when Willie takes that Florida A&M team into Orangeburg. It's going to be a battle up there. That's going to be a battle.
I think SC State going to be back in the Celebration Bowl too.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Yeah. I tell people
Blue Blood said don't sleep on NCCU.
The sleeping giant of that MEAC to me is that darn Norfolk State. I don't know. Really, to be honest with you, Norfolk State should be beating South Carolina State. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They should be beating them.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hey, I just wanted to call in. Good show. I enjoy you all, and just keep doing what you're doing. And hey, SWAC Buzz, you got a good show. Oh, one other question: was any of y'all aware that? And I came in late, so you all probably already discussed it. That All Script was not invited to the SWAC Media.
You know what? I heard that, but that's not right.
Yeah.
That's not right. I'm totally against it. Now, All Script and I have. We have our differences, but let me tell you something. Right. This guy every day.
We're not going to talk about other YouTubers on the show. We're not going to talk about.
I think he should have been invited. I'm serious. I didn't like that. I heard.
Mr. Ford, we're not going to talk about other YouTubers on the show. Me and All Script has talked, so I don't want anybody saying anything crazy about him on the show. And so, out of respect for what he got going on over there, we're not going to talk about him on the show, okay? All right. All right. So, so Mr. Ford, you want to wrap up for tonight?
Yeah. Listen, I'm looking forward to seeing it on ESPN3. I just think it's going to be a big year. I thought last year was a great year, and I think this year going to be even better. I think we'll have a higher attendance than we had for the different schools and for the conference. I think that this is going to be an epic season. But let me just say this in closing. If you did not prepare, in June and in this month of July, you're going to get your behind kicked.
Right.
Listen, y'all have a good night, okay?
All right. I'm going to get this other call. Let me get them on.
Okay. All right.
All right, Ms. Ford. What's going on, Caller You Live? Talk to me. What's going on, Caller You Live? Talk to me.
Hey, I just was listening to the talk show, and the caller said that the SWAC should play better competition, but the SWAC has good competition because the pro scouts, they come in there and look at the film every game. Game time comes, and they look at the film NAIA. They look at the film on Division I football. The Southland Conference has nobody got drafted this year. The Southland Conference had nobody get drafted this year. The SWAC had 2 players got drafted, right? But the thing that they got to do is bring in a player personnel for the draft. You got to hire somebody a player personnel for the draft.
Right. Oh yeah. I agree with you totally.
Make sure they get the 40 time. The 3-gone drill. They make sure every time practice over with. The NFL's prospect should be running the 40 every time.
Oh yeah.
Right. Right. I agree with that.
I had a stroke. That's why I'm talking to you like this.
It's fine. It's
All
fine.
right?
We got
remember
you. We got you.
Yeah,
We got
I
you.
remember you.
Yeah. I'm making it better.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
good, man. We got you.
Okay.
You all right? You fine? Anything else you want to add?
I I I I I I got to add something right here. That man is right. His Harold Jackson, Otis Taylor, they should be in the Hall of Fame. And nobody was like Harold Jackson. He finished first in the league 3 years in a row. And Otis Taylor was a Kansas City all-time leading receiver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I got one question to ask that man. The era of Eddie Robinson, Marino Casson, the coach up at Southern,
Arnett Mumford.
the coach at Jackson, the coach at Mississippi,
Big Mary,
the coach at Mississippi Valley when Jerry Rice was there.
Gunslinger. That's Archie Cooley.
Right. Hey, you think these coaches are better than them now?
No. Them guys right there had less and did more. They had less. These guys just got some things. Them guys had less and did more.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't put nobody over Eddie Robinson.
All of that crew you just called. I didn't. I was 2 or 3 years old when Arnett Mumford died, but I did a lot of studying. I read about him. They called him Ace because he was so brilliant. I'm gonna tell you this story, and I'm gonna let it go. What he would do in the off season, Bear Bryant, who was at Texas A&M at the time, would come to the campus of Southern University. His wife, Arnett Mumford's wife, said they would take her breakfast table and they would turn it into a football. And it was just like two men playing chess. And then the other person that would come to Southern's campus and meet with Arnett Mumford was Frank Broyles. He was at Arkansas. So the other thing that Arnett Mumford would do every year, he and his assistants would go up to Ohio and they would go to the training camp of the Cleveland Browns. At that time, they were coached by Paul Brown. And he would bring all of that knowledge back to Southern. Because I keep telling people, before Arnett, when Arnett Mumford was living, Eddie Robb couldn't do nothing with him. He couldn't do nothing with him. Robb emerged after Arnett Mumford died. I think he died in either 61 or 62. That's when the Grambling program went up. But while he was living, it was Arnett Mumford and a guy named Billy Nix at Prairie View. They were the dominant two coaches. And then what would happen, whoever won between them would go down to Miami and meet Jake Gaither's teams in the Orange Blossom Classic. But no, these guys here, no, man. Them guys was brilliant, man.
I appreciate you calling.
They did a lot with a little bit.
Yeah.
I appreciate you calling, Mr. Carter.
All right.
Thank you for calling. All right, Mr. Ford, you want to go ahead and finish up, and then we're gonna end the show tonight.
Yeah, listen, enjoyed it, and now when we gonna come on again?
Sunday. We'll be back Sunday.
All right. Listen, everybody have a good night, and I look forward to talking with you Sunday night.
All right.
Have a good night.
All right. All right. That was tonight's episode. Yeah, we got a lot of things out. We had a good time tonight. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button if you haven't hit it yet. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one. I'm gone.